Welcome to the presentation. It is part of our series Fundamentals of Gameplay, Fundamentals of Game Design. We are talking about game character design and development. You are actually required to watch our previous videos on this topic to understand it better. But before that, we can just show some of our websites as far as advertisement. mall.justetc.org to sell different electronics products, computer products, clothes, books, CDs, DVDs will be coming soon. justetc.net, knowledge or computer.justetc.net for training videos and articles and short notes on different aspects of IT. jobs.justetc.net, it's a recruitment website or employers place ads. You can search your job here. We also provide recruiting service through this. And this is our software and web development and the corresponding maintenance support website. Now back to the business. Okay, we are here. I think we are talking about that in the recent games people try to bring social relationships and emotional states as well. For example, in the game Sims, it was trying to bring social relationships in the game. I think through this game people will try to live socially and see how things go, and the corresponding gameplay will entertain the player. The characters have some characterization attribute and also some status attributes like hunger, comfort, hygiene, and conflicting characters will not get along. I think in the game the player has to direct those characters to perform the different activities, maybe different status attribute related activities to meet their hunger, to get some comfort, or to get some hygiene or something. So through these activities they may meet someone else and some interaction will be there, or maybe through these activities their happiness level will increase or decrease. The player will try to live through the game in a social life and enjoy the activities. And dimensionality of the characters, it's also important. I think whether the character is interesting or not, it's plain, boring or simple. In books, movies, the characters are usually two-dimensional. Many times people say that the characters are not interesting, these are just two-dimensional characters, does not feel like human, does not grow or change, the characters are almost same. Now, character classification, we can categorize them from 0 to 3 dimensional, that is 4 dimension. I think not 4 dimension, 4 different types of characters. We'll try to discuss these dimensions in terms of the game Lord of the Ring. There are some 0 dimensional characters. 0 dimensional characters, they will have some discrete emotional states, separate emotional states, and these emotional states will not change smoothly, they will not move smoothly from one mood to another, they will just randomly move, or there is the concept of mixed feeling, either this extreme or that extreme. The characters orcs in Lord of the Ring, it's a 0 dimensional character. It just have 2 feelings, hate and fear, only 2 emotions. Make the character look like comics. Bugs Bunny, Sylvester, change instantly from one extreme to another. I think these are some characters in some games. Now, in one dimensional, I think there will have multiple discrete, you can say, emotional states of the characters, but only one of the character will have some changing flow, changing feeling. Largely the emotions are fixed, but one of the particular emotion can change smoothly. Let's say in Lord of the Ring, dwarf Gimli, he is usually hostile and suspicious to elves, but over the time this character or this attitude changes and he grows some respects for dwarf Gimli. Now, two-dimensional characters. I think here there are multiple emotional states represented by multiple variables. These express their multiple impulses. These impulses are usually orthogonal and they usually don't conflict. Some example are strong emotions. I think in the Lord of Ring, the Denethor, he has some strong emotions like pride, contempt, despair. They are not conflicting emotions, they are orthogonal emotions. That's why the character never faces moral dilemma. Duty and tradition trump all other considerations. Just more than two emotions, they are orthogonal. There is no mixed stuff. They don't interfere. They don't. Okay, and the three-dimensional characters, it is more real characters like the human being. You will have many different emotional states, and there will be some conflicting impulses as well. I think these impulses can distress the character, can confuse the character, and sometimes this confliction or confusion can make the character to behave inconsistently. I think these are two characters, three-dimensional characters in the Lord of the Ring. April Ryan in The Longest Journey is a three-dimensional character. Three-dimensional characters are welcomed in game. I think it adds more variety, more interaction, or you can add more gameplay there. Make life, make more interesting, more real, more art form. Yeah, these three-dimensional characters makes game industry more of an art form. Character growth. What do you mean by character growth? Will the character remain same throughout the story, or it will change over the time based on the situation to meet the need of the story or based on the level of the game? If the game is just episodes, some discrete events, some discrete situations, then the character does not need to change. But if it is something that aspires, if the game aspires to be more than a simple adventure, or it tries to have some meaningful story, then the characters must grow to grow the story, to make the story more meaningful, or to flourish the story, to elaborate the story. Types of growth. It can happen in different ways. In action games, the characters can grow with new moves and new power-ups. When it crosses the levels or with overtime or based on these actions, he can get more new moves, new powers. In action game, the mental state does not change. In adventure games, you can provide both personal and emotional growth. In the role-playing games, character growth can be a challenge. You can offer several dimensional of growth in the personal level and in the skill level. How to provide character growth? Now, you have to think. Definitely, you have to think about your game concept, the game story, the overview of the game, and then you have to decide what are the characters that will grow, then how they will grow. Will they grow physically? Implementation is easy. You can increase their abilities, their powers, simulation, something like this. Will they grow intellectually, morally, or emotionally? More difficult to implement, but still you can show that over the time their intellectual or has become better. How will you implement, or how you will propagate this information to the player? You can change in the numeric or symbolic attributes, or you can